Welcome to Mystic Realms Recap. Please like, share, and subscribe. Enjoy today's episode.
Hoo hoo. In the forest, there is constant cold wind blowing, but snakes are cold-blooded animals. Ibe can only feel the changes in the environment, but the body will definitely not be affected by this cold. It was a pack of wolves. Under this cold wind, all the hair on his body stood upside down. Whoa, whoa. Enhance courage by shouting and save body temperature. And behind the pack of wolves, there is a wolf with cold eyes, standing in the distance, firmly locked to Ibe. The hair on its body is a kind of grayish-white, which is obviously different from other wolves. He raised his head high. The size is at least about 3 times larger than that of an ordinary wolf. Roar. The sound of this wolf was not a scream, but a roar like a lion and a tiger. Yes, it is the Wolf King. The main reason for bringing wolves to surround Ibe is that he intuitively told him that as long as he eats Ibe, he will become stronger. After seeing a wolf being killed by Ibe Ch, there was not much fear in its eyes, but a lot of excitement. Ho ho ho. The low roar continued. This is the language of its Wolf King. Give it to me. He is just a snake, and there is only one in number. We have an absolute advantage. As long as we can get close to him, we can tear it to pieces in an instant. The Wolf King issued the order. Those wolves frightened by Ibe. After receiving this order, their fear and hesitation disappeared instantly. Whoa, whoa. Whoosh, whoosh. The cries of wolves were mixed with black figures, and they rushed towards Ibe frantically. Golyulu. As for Ibe at this moment, he was eating the meat of the first wolf excitedly. Fresh blood and delicious wolf meat give him a perfect sense of enjoyment while gaining evolution points. That's great. Unexpectedly, the taste of wolf meat is so beautiful. Pretty good. The cell was cheering. Ibe, who became a giant python, kept spitting scarlet letters in his mouth. Whoosh whoosh. Boom. Wow. However, the group of wolves around did not give Ibe a chance to swallow it, so they rushed forward desperately. Various sounds resounded in the forest. These are all looking for death. Don't you know that it is very rude to influence other people's eating? Seeing the wolves, Ibe growled. Then he reluctantly moved his attention away from the food, and his cold and deep pupils swept toward the wolves that rushed over. Chi 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 chi. Open mouth, sharp fangs, snorting. Click. One bite broke the neck of another wolf, and blood splashed. Boom. With a fierce flick of his tail, the huge power directly flew a wolf trying to sneak attack from behind, making a loud rumbling noise. Boom. The body was erected and slammed down. A huge wave was directly photographed in the mud. Just for a moment, the scene was chaotic. There were too many wolves to distinguish the situation. However, the other creatures around were violently frightened and scattered everywhere. So cool. 50th. Huh? There was a painful feeling, but it didn't even break the skin. It's 88th, it's disgusting, and all of it is blood-stained. The fresh blood is really good. The more you swallow, the stronger the power in your body. This devouring system is powerful. 112. Ibe fell into a state of slaughter. His eyes slowly turned from pitch black to bright red. The killing intent on his body became more turbulent, and while slaughtering the wolves, his mouth continued to make a sneer. The more you fight, the more excited you are. Ibe was able to fight hard, and his whole body was refreshed by brushing points. But in the distance, on the side of the silver-gray Wolf King, it was another situation. Standing tall, the Wolf King stared fiercely at the battlefield. With the death of a wolf, it can be clearly felt. Roar, roar, roar. Every wolf killed in battle, it will let out a low growl. At the same time, when he looked at Ibe, his gaze was finally filled with fear. Just a python, it can kill so many wolves easily? Even if he was fighting against the wolf pack, there was no chance of victory. But, even seeing his wolves die head by head, the Wolf King still has no plans to retreat. Kill. Kill it. What about sacrificing the wolves? As long as it can consume the power of this snake, it will die when it will go out on its own. If there are no wolves, no more recruits. This wolf has a part of intelligence. When looking at Yibei's direction, these were all thoughts in his mind. 190 heads. Yibei was still counting the numbers. Any wolf, as long as it is bitten by him, will be killed on the spot, and the powerful bite ability can make the body of those wolves fragmented and blood splashed every time. At this moment, while crawling on the ground, Yibei could even clearly feel the wetness and stickiness on the ground. It was the blood from more than 200 wolves, melting the soil. In addition to these, the corpses of the wolf around Yibei's body formed a circle. Every place is more than 2 meters high, and Yibei was entrenched in the middle of the circle. As long as a wolf rushed out of it, it would be crushed immediately. 230. The strength is still increasing. Every bite, blood will be swallowed. The blood turned into strength, allowing Yibei's combat effectiveness to continue to increase. The third 100. It's so cool. Although I haven't reached 100,000 evolution points, but after swallowing so many wolves' blood, I feel that my body is about to boil. If I wait for all their flesh to be swallowed, I will become more strong. Yibei excitedly said loudly when he killed the 300th wolf. Chi-chi. The sound turned into a sneer. The 10 wolves who were still alive finally knew their fears, and when they heard this voice, they didn't dare to take a step forward. In the forest, all the breath of death. The forest is very dark. There was a cold breath in the air. Zizi, the silver-gray wolf king, stepped forward. The movement is very light. When the forelegs stepped on the ground, they kept making noises because of a layer of leaves. Fierce and emotionless eyes, all staring in Yibei's direction. Yes, when he saw that the entire wolf pack was about to be wiped out, he finally stepped forward, step by step towards the sea of wolves. However, his emotionless eyes, not only there is no sadness, but a kind of excitement faintly. In its concept, although Yibei killed many wolves, it must have consumed a lot of power. Yibei now is just the end of the battle. As long as you go out by yourself, you will surely kill it easily. Oh. There were 311 wolves in total. Yibei killed 300 of them, and 11 of them are still alive, including the Wolf King. After seeing the Wolf King finally coming over, the other 10 wolves kept making low voices. Fear, and the excitement after seeing the Wolf King. And at this moment in Yibei, in the middle of the sea of corpses of wolves, the engulfing devourer was closest to his own wolf meat. At the same time, I was still quite confused. It's really depressing. There are 11 wolves. Did they run away? And the Wolf King is not dead? When he said this, Yibei had many regrets in his heart. Wow. However, he just finished saying this. With a clatter, the corpses of several wolves rolled down from the wall. Yibei looked up slightly, just saw a huge silver-gray Wolf King. 10 surviving wolves stood around the Wolf King, cold eyes, unceremoniously at each other. The moment he saw the Wolf King, Yibei's eyes were all excited. On the contrary, after the Wolf King saw Yibei, all his excited eyes just disappeared, and all his eyes were replaced by fear. Roar, growl in his mouth. Because the scene he saw in his line of sight was really incredible and incomprehensible. The giant snake, which was covered with patterns and was more than 4 meters in size, showed no signs of weakness at all. All of its skin is thick blood. There is a strong smell of blood in the air. In this situation, this giant snake is actually devouring the corpses of the wolf one by one, and its belly shows no signs of getting bigger at all, as if the corpse of the wolf immediately turned into it is the energy disappearing. Danger. Very dangerous. This is in a natural instinct. While the silver-gray Wolf King roared in his throat, his body slowly moved back. The 10 wolves next to him were even more frightened by the situation in front of them. They froze in place, motionless. Since it's here, just stay. You guys have perfect evolution points. Yibei said coldly. Chi. The sound turned into a sneer. The scarlet letter was spit out from his mouth. In the eyes of the 11 wolves, it was like a life-killing devil. The wolf will be afraid. Any creature will be afraid when facing life danger. After seeing Yi Bei spit out the scarlet letter, the 10 wolves that were stunned began to back up. Who? As for Yi Bei, his lower body was entwined together. Then the muscles of the body were pressed down, with great force. In the next instant, his body jumped more than 3 meters. The body is like a spring. As he flew up, his huge mouth opened, and the pair of sharp fangs unceremoniously bit a living wolf's neck to pieces. Puff! Blood flies all over. Wow! At this moment, including the Wolf King, the remaining 10 wolves finally realized that something was wrong. When Yi Bei fell back into the wolf's sea of corpses, they gathered together and ran away frantically. After running for more than 20 meters, the Wolf King stopped. His body trembled slightly. His eyes looked at the direction of the sea of corpses in horror. Just waiting for it to react, the next second, its eyes were straight. Booming. I saw the corpse wall piled up nearly 3 meters high, as if being pushed by a huge force, making a rumbling sound. In less than 2 seconds, the corpse wall collapsed. A huge boa constrictor with a blood-stained body, spitting letters and murderous aura, like a ghost, jumped out of it. Whizzing. The speed is so fast, you can hear the whistling wind. How is this possible? All the silver-gray hairs on the Wolf King's body stood up. The wolf who was alive by his side kept shivering. Click, click. One bite. When Yi Bei rushed into the living wolves, he was rude. It only took less than 10 seconds to kill all the 9 ordinary wolves that were alive. The flesh and blood flew across the air, and the air was full of blood. Then, he entangled his lower body, erected his body, directly blocking the front of the Wolf King. His eyes confronted. The reason why Yi Bei didn't kill the Wolf King directly was because this Wolf King is unusual. The body is more than 2 meters long, about 1 meter 3 tall. It is much bigger than a real wolf. If it is correct, it is a mutated species like the mutant megalodon before it. It is doubtful that there will be mutant species on this island. Yi Bei must figure out the situation. You are the only one left. If you want to survive, tell me why you are different from other wolves. Yi Bei opened his mouth. The scarlet letter spit out, trying to communicate with the Wolf King. Chi. Only after the sound was made, it turned into a snake's voice again, just sneering constantly. The hair on the Wolf King's body stood up, and he didn't understand what Yi Bei meant. Seeing the wolves annihilated, then seeing Yi Bei in front of him, and judging the speed of Yi Bei just now, it knew that it was absolutely impossible to leave today. Roar! A low growl broke out in his mouth. Who? Immediately afterwards, the silver-gray-haired Wolf King rushed towards Yi Bei. Tired of living. Seeing the Wolf King rushing, Yi Bei's eyes were full of killing intent. Wow! Over the forest, a large number of birds continued to be scattered. Waving his wings, he kept making noises. These sounds were basically coming from far away. After all, after the wolves first appeared, there were no living creatures nearby. From the situation of these birds, it can be completely seen. This battle has spread far away. Roar! The silver-gray-haired Wolf King has red eyes. Baring his teeth, all bloodshot on them. Pushing his hind legs vigorously backwards, his legs forward, and he was ready to attack. Of course, while performing this action, his eyes kept making fierce looks. I have to say, this Wolf King is very naive. When humans act fiercely, they will scare away some other creatures. The Wolf King, who knew he couldn't escape, put on this appearance and rushed towards Yi Bei. This is completely desecrating Yi Bei's IQ. Chi. The blood-red letter was spit out from his mouth. Looking at the rushing Wolf King, Yi Bei had only one thought in his heart: how to make this idiot die quickly. Do you want to bite off your neck, or just swallow it? Ho ho ho. The speed of the Wolf King is getting faster and faster. The roar in his mouth is also getting louder, but it can't have any influence on Yi Bei at all. When the distance is less than 1 meter, its eyes have long been completely filled with fear. Looking at Yi Bei's cold eyes, and his body that hasn't been shaken from beginning to end. Zzz. The Wolf King unexpectedly stopped at the last moment. Thump. In the next moment, his legs kneeled directly in front of Yi-Bei. There was some pity in the red eyes, as if he was begging Yi-Bei for mercy. Okay. Seeing the situation of the Wolf King, Yi-Bei was slightly surprised. A wolf knelt down to a snake and begged for mercy. No matter what angle you look at, it is incredible. Kill it. Yi-Bei paused slightly. But, the next moment, he thought of the rewards the system said. In his mind, such a thought came up with a thud, and he was extremely determined. No matter how spiritual this Wolf King is today, he must be swallowed. Killing intent is raging. The Wolf King also clearly felt. Seeing Yi-Bei hesitating a bit, it originally showed weakness and jumped up from the ground again with a squeak, open mouth and sharp spikes, and rushed towards Yi-Bei fiercely, really looking for death. The actions of the Wolf King made Yi-Bei's killing intent even worse. Wow. Yi-Bei was a little angry. This time, he opened his mouth wide and never thought of biting with those two sharp fangs. After the huge mouth opened, he swallowed the Wolf King's head in one bite. Puff puff. His head was wrapped in the snake's mouth, and the four legs of the Wolf King kept flapping on the ground, making a popping sound. And Yi-Bei's appearance at the moment was even more terrifying. After all, its body is only 4 meters long. It is almost impossible to swallow the Wolf King in one bite. The open mouth looks terrifying, and the upper and lower lips are directly divided into 270 degrees. Blood big mouth. This is the real big mouth. Only a snake can make the muscles do this. Wow. The Wolf King is still struggling. The rotten leaves on the ground were splashing everywhere. The smell of blood in the air was very strong, but as time went by, the speed of the Wolf King's struggle became slower and slower, obviously losing his power. Chi 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 chi. After swallowing the Wolf King's head in one bite, Yi-Bei vigorously moved the muscles in his body. Borrowing the surging of muscles, he constantly pushed the body of the Wolf King towards his stomach. Around, the sound of sneer kept. 10 minutes. The Wolf King had already been swallowed in half. The half of the huge, silver-gray body that was exposed looked terrifying. 20 minutes later, the whole Wolf King was swallowed by Yi-Bei. The huge body turned into a stream of pure energy, constantly flowing in Yi-Bei's body. The Wolf King, who was still arrogant before, died in this tragic way. To be honest, even Yi-Bei had some sympathy for it. At this moment, Yi-Bei didn't have time to think about those things. The Wolf King was swallowed. Yi-Bei, who was entrenched on the ground, could clearly feel that his physical fitness was changing again. Power, moving speed, and the body's defense capabilities are rapidly strengthening. Congratulations to the host, successfully ate the mutant silver-haired Wolf King and gained 5,000 evolution points. At the same time, the physical fitness has been comprehensively improved. Please make persistent efforts to complete the 3rd stage of evolution as soon as possible, and at the same time, kill the Wolf King to burst a silver treasure box. May I ask, is the host turned on? That kind of power made Yi-Bei gradually addicted. He didn't suddenly come back to his senses until the system's voice rang through his mind. When he first came to this world, the system gave him a copper treasure chest. After Yi-Bei opened it, he obtained a pair of cobra fangs. Now that the Wolf King was killed, a silver treasure chest was revealed. To be honest, this made Yi-Bei feel quite surprised. Judging by his judgment, Yi-Bei was confident that the contents of this silver treasure chest were definitely much stronger than that pair of fangs. Wait and then turn on. Wait until I swallow all these wolves first. These are all evolution points. Although I can't complete the evolution temporarily, but when I swallow, I can still feel the physical fitness keep getting stronger, this feeling very cool. Although Yi-Bei was excited, but he also realized the importance of the points, decisively said to the system. Then, regardless of other things, his body rushed towards the sea of wolf corpses that had just piled up in the mountains at the fastest speed. After having the experience of devouring the Wolf King, the next Yi-Bei was very proficient. Click. Chi. Wow. As long as you open your mouth, every bite can swallow a wolf. When it came to the back, He even opened his mouth to the maximum, and he was able to swallow 3 wolves at once. Congratulations to the host for successfully swallowing a wild wolf and gaining 100 evolution points. Congratulations to the host for successfully swallowing a wild wolf and gaining 100 evolution points. Congratulations to the host for successfully swallowing 3 wild wolves and gaining 300 evolution points. It feels so good to scramble for evolution points. 20 minutes later, the corpses of the wolves that had piled up into the mountains were all swallowed up. Yi Bei, covered in blood, was entrenched on the ground, and his body began to change again. The island, the cold wind, the smell of blood. Yi Bei's body was entrenched on the ground. The feeling of strength in his body made him extremely excited. However, after a gust of cold wind blew from him, Yi Bei's consciousness returned to calm again. I didn't expect that after being reborn as a snake, even my subconscious mind has undergone tremendous changes. You know, when I was a human, my hand would tremble even if I killed a fish. But now, so crazy, not only did he not dislike Yi Bei, the killing, but a feeling of expectation. After swallowing all the corpses and hurriedly, Yi Bei at this moment did not have the idea of being full. The anticipation and excitement for energy made him even more eager to swallow more food. Chi. When I said this, my voice kept sneering. At the same time, because of swallowing so many wolves, the number of evolution points is also completely refreshed. Infinite evolution system. Name: Yi Bei. Species: blood python. Age: under 1 year old. Young python. Lifespan: 20 years. Evolution points: 36,000/100000. Grade: LV1. Language: snake language. Ability: fangs. Apostle: none. Territory: none. Task: complete the 3rd stage of evolution and expand the territory. After all the evolution is completed, you will become a Titan Python. The territory is planned to be the entire island. Reward: 1 silver treasure chest, which the host can open at any time. Just a thought flashed, and the fluorescent screen appeared in front of Yi Bei's eyes again. Except for evolution points, missions, and rewards, these 3 places have changed, and there are no changes in other places. This situation made Yi Bei even more excited about how strong he would become if he one day fills up all the numbers and text on it. Can now swallow a wolf in 1 bite. At that time, maybe you can swallow the largest whale in the sea in 1 bite. To be more exaggerated, human warships may be able to take 1 bite at a time. Okay, system. Open the silver treasure chest. After finishing all the points, Yi Bei spoke to the system. Silver treasure box. I hope to open a super awesome thing. Okay. The system answers. The next second, a silver white box appeared in front of Yi Bei's eyes. The white light is scattered everywhere. Then the box opened slowly, and Yi Bei found that he knew everything inside. And when he saw what was inside, Yi Bei's eyes immediately lit up. Because there is more than 1 prize inside. Congratulations to the host for gaining the permission of Apostle. You can control any apostle through your consciousness. Prize introduction. Hurry up and find your own apostle. It would be great for my sister. Do whatever you want to do. Do 6 rounds, no effort. Congratulations to the host for obtaining the regional beast language. On the island where the host is currently located, you can directly communicate with all beasts through language, and the beasts that have left this island can already communicate with the host. Prize introduction. And beasts dialogue. Absolutely no one will treat you as a. Congratulations to the host for obtaining the body improvement plan. As long as it is confirmed, the body will rise to 5 meters. Prize introduction. Only by becoming stronger can the cannon be arrogant. Originally, when Yi Bei saw the 3 prizes appear, he was still very excited. But after reading the content, and as the eyes fell on a prize, a line of words would automatically appear on the fluorescent screen in front of him to explain it, which made his body twitch a few times. The regional animal language can communicate with all the beasts on the island. This is really good. If you have this thing before, You may not kill the Wolf King and let him be your own apostle. With consciousness control other powerful creatures? Give a person who will never change your mind for free. Let her do whatever she does? Think about it. This is also very powerful. The last, as a snake, what is the most important thing? Yes, only the larger and more ferocious, the more fearful other creatures can be. Ibe muttered to himself. Then he made a decisive choice to raise his body to 5 meters first, then raise the body shape first. Ibe used the prize unceremoniously. While the sound fell, he only felt a soft light burst out of the silver-white treasure chest. Then his body became hot again. Powerful energy surged in my body. Chi. Then, the body grew at a speed visible to the naked eye, and it didn't stop until it was 5 meters full. 5 meters long, 25 centimeters in diameter. Now Yi Bei's size looks like it has actually surpassed most pythons. The feeling of becoming stronger is really wonderful. Okay, keep looking for food. After looking at his current powerful body, Yi Bei was very satisfied and said excitedly, "Okay." Just as these words fell, a cold light flashed in his mind. Because of the increase in size and the swallowing of so many wolves, not only his strength has become stronger, but his consciousness has also increased a lot. At this moment, he can feel very clearly that he is 3 kilometers away from him. Similar breath. And the number is more than 1. Blood Python Din? In the dark forest, Yi Bei's eyes widened. Chi. The bright red letter in his mouth kept spitting out. He unexpectedly found a snake den and a large number of similar creatures. I don't know why. In the depths of Ming Yebei's consciousness, he was still a human, but the appearance of the blood python den made him excited. To the trembling feeling. Since it is of the same kind, then go and take a look. With this thought, Yi Bei moved. His eyes returned to pitch black, and the inside was extremely deep. Zizi. The huge body was pressed on the ground, and the rotting leaves kept making noises. 3 kilometers, the distance is still very far. When moving, Yi Bei directly covered up all his murderous aura. Along the way, all the creatures that caught the eye were swallowed unceremoniously. Go forward a kilometer. The number of evolution points has reached 38,000. Go forward 2 kilometers. The number of evolution points reached 40,000. The same, because of the continuous use of points along the way, the speed is also a lot slower. The distance of 3,000 meters, it took more than 20 minutes. Chi. Chi. When he was about to arrive at the snake's nest, Chi kept spitting out Shinzi's voice, which reached Yi Bei's ears all the way. However, Yi Bei, who appeared here, didn't rush over immediately. Instead, he carefully observed the surrounding environment. This is clearly a huge swamp. There are dwarf shrubs everywhere. The shrubs grow crookedly, just like the body of a snake. Yi Bei could feel the icy breath before he got close, and he rushed out of the bushes. If he was an ordinary creature, he felt the breath. He would have run far away and would not dare to take another step. Darkness, silence, and the breath of death continued to spread. Is this the blood python den? It's really weird here. Yi Bei stood on the edge. Half of his body stood up, staring at the bush, and he spoke softly. Just as he was thinking about whether to enter the bushes, rustling sound reached his ears, and the next second, Yi Bei's eyes widened. That is the language of snakes. Moreover, Yi Bei, who had acquired the regional language, could clearly understand what the snakes were talking. It's terrible. Do you know that just 2 hours ago, humans attacked our race? The weapons they used were too powerful. They killed 2 in one fell swoop and captured Cha. Then what shall we do? Go to war. They dare to enter this area, they have to pay a price. I have no opinion. These humans deserve to die. Chi. These voices are actually some sneer sounds, but Yi Bei is different, and when they reach his mind, they have completely different meanings. After hearing these voices, Yi Bei's first reaction was incredible. First of all, these snakes can actually think like humans and say such things. And snakes also have names. One is called Tu and the other is Sha, but the name is rather strange. The other one is even more awesome. These snakes have actually fought against humans, and through their dialogue, it can be clearly judged that there really are humans on this island, and they also carry powerful weapons. This news is really amazing. You must know that just after the rebirth, in Yi-Bei's concept, this island will not have any human existence. After all, the plants and animals here are very weird and very aggressive, and humans cannot survive at all. Similarly, this news also made Yi-Bei be more cautious. He was also a human in the past. He naturally knew some of the despicable practices of humans. Now his body has evolved completely beyond the scope of blood pythons. Once discovered by humans, he will definitely do nothing. Cost capture. With his current physical fitness, it is simply not enough to resist some of the heavy weapons of mankind. It seems we have to keep getting stronger. After thinking of this, Yi-Bei continued to move his body and moved decisively towards the bushes. In the bushes, strictly speaking, not all of them are shrubs, but all the surroundings are surrounded by shrubs. The middle position is all huge stones. If a human sees this scene at this moment, absolutely frightened on the spot, because the situation here is really terrifying. Countless black and red pythons entangled on the big rocks. Densely, vertical and horizontal staggered. All are entrenched in the lower body, and the upper body is erected high. Scarlet letters are constantly spitting out from their mouths. There was a faint fishy smell in the air, and there was also a breath of killing. And in the middle of these snakes, a blood python, about 4 meters long, stood upright. If it was correct, it was the leader of this group of snakes. We have a good grasp of the trends of mankind. We are going to war against them tonight. Provoke our snake clan, and they will all pay a huge price for it. The snake king in the middle spit out the letter and said coldly, "ZZZ." At this moment, Yi-Bei finally came over. He raised his head and looked at these snakes clearly. When the king snake was talking, all the pythons around him were extremely quiet. For the reason of hiding his breath, even if Yi-Bei appeared next to him, the snakes did not respond. You said, "You know the movement of mankind? In that case, you are very familiar with this island. From today, I want snakes, and I am your new king. To deal with humans, I will come find a way." Yi-Bei spoke slowly. Chi-Chi. The voice turned into a sniffing snake language. When the Snake King spoke, the snakes were originally very quiet. And when Yi-Bei said these words, all the blood pythons heard clearly. Chi-Chi. In the next second, all the snakes looked towards Yi-Bei. More than 300 snakes. His bright red eyes radiated cold light in the dark night. The Snake King, who was entrenched in the middle, had a terrifying killing intent bursting out of his eyes. Under this circumstance, Yi-Bei slowly moved in the direction of the Snake King without rushing or slowly. ZZZ. Yi-Bei moved very slowly. Haha. All the snakes looked at Yi-Bei in unison, including the Snake King. Only at this moment, these snakes are extremely quiet. Although the air was filled with killing intent, there was no snake who dared to do anything. Although it was dark, the snake, a creature, could still clearly see the surrounding situation. Yi-Bei hid his breath. But after the body is exposed to the field of vision, this can't be concealed completely. At this moment, in the minds of these snakes, there are only fear and shock. Who is it? Why have you never seen him among the snakes before? It's the same race as us. This body is actually bigger than the Snake King. Why do I feel that his skin is very hard, countless times stronger than ours? Snake King? Is he coming to fight for the Snake King's seat? Those ordinary blood pythons kept their voices. Although they had a great fear of Yi-Bei, they knew very well that what really happened next was a matter of the Snake King, and, judging from the current situation, obviously Yi-Bei has more strength. In the animal world, the strong are supreme. Whoever is powerful is the king. I have never seen you before. However, you feel very dangerous to me. If you want to get the position of the Serpent King, you must defeat me first. The Snake King held his head high, talking coldly. However, when its voice just fell, the voice of the system immediately resounded in Yi-Bei's head. If you find the Blood Python King, if you swallow it, you will get 10,000 evolution points. The system is so obvious that it is temptation. However, eBay always felt a little weird after hearing this. I am also a blood python. If you eat another blood python, no matter how you look at it, it will be a maddening thing. But in order to evolve points, he didn't have time to think so much. Okay, come on. eBay's tone was cold. Before, he directly swallowed a pack of wolves and even ate the mutant megalodon, a king snake. eBay really didn't care about it now. When he was speaking, eBay stood still, too lazy to move. On the contrary, the Snake King, as if facing an enemy, cautiously rushed towards eBay. Zizi, the sound of leaves crushing on the ground. Chi-Chi, the king snake spit out the voice of Shinzi. There is not too much language. Between the king and the king, there is no need to talk nonsense. The only thing to do is to fight to the death first. Whoosh whoosh. When the distance was close enough, the Snake King rushed towards eBay, his mouth wide open, exuding an unpleasant stench. This king snake is not as lucky as eBay. Although it has some teeth, the blood python is 5 poisonous. And as a snake, when fighting an enemy, the most frequently used method is to swallow the enemy directly. The Snake King opened his mouth wide. eBay also had a murderous intention at this time. Laugh. There was a red letter in his mouth. When the king snake was less than 1 meter away from him, eBay opened his mouth abruptly, not waiting for the king snake to approach. Whoosh. In the next moment, eBay moved more agile. His mouth grew, and his body rushed towards the Snake King. Golyulu. Before the Snake King could react, eBay bit his head in one bite. Immediately afterwards, the grunting voice continued to resound in this bush. The 4-meter-long Snake King was actually being swallowed by eBay a little bit, except that his tail was constantly flapping the ground. He didn't even have the power to resist. Hundreds of blood pythons around, all stared with scarlet eyes after seeing this result. At the beginning, most of the snakes were spitting out letters, but at this moment all the snakes closed their mouths tightly and did not dare to make any noises for fear of attracting eBay's attention. In their hearts, they have always been invincible snake kings. Actually, be killed so easily? Golyulu. eBay continued to swallow it. And after swallowing, under normal circumstances, the snake's belly would be stretched very big, and then after a long period of digestion, the food was converted into energy needed for survival. But eBay didn't need that at all. When the Snake King entered his mouth, eBay turned his body into extremely pure energy immediately. Those energies spread wildly in the body. The refreshing feeling made eBay excited. Of course, such a scene naturally made the blood pythons around them even more terrified. They only saw eBay swallowing the king snake, but they couldn't see that eBay's belly grew bigger. All IQ was consumed, and they couldn't think of what was going on. Congratulations to the host for successfully devouring a blood python king and gaining 10,000 evolution points. According to the host's judgment, there are a large number of blood pythons around at this moment, but the host evolution has far surpassed them. The evolutionary energy is insufficient, and it is of little significance. If you do, 10 points will be awarded for each item. System sound came immediately. Originally, after eBay ate the Snake King, he really planned to continue devouring the surrounding snakes. But when I heard the system, he immediately dispelled this idea. There were only more than 300 blood pythons around. One was 10 o'clock, and it was only more than 3,000 if all swallowed. Now I am away from the next stage of evolution. I need a full 50,000 points. It doesn't matter if I eat them or not. On the contrary, I killed the Snake King, and then I will be the new king of these snakes. It is obviously more reasonable to drive them to explore the situation in the forest, or to hunt some creatures to provide their own evolution. Chi-Chi. In the next second, that cold gaze, as if making a sneer, swept over every snake around. From today, I am your king. Those who refuse to obey, die. The voice was cold. Those blood pythons understand all. Boom. However, just as eBay was about to continue to issue missions to these snakes, an extremely crisp sound came from the west. The distance will never exceed 1 kilometer. Humanity? Hearing this sound, Yi-Bei moved slightly. The stunned blood pythons around, among them some snakes, spoke with a trembling voice. Wang, the king, is a human being. They must have found here. They are attacking. Hear this voice. There was a cold, murderous intent on Yi-Bei's body. Bang, bang, bang. The crisp gunfire was particularly harsh in the secluded forest. After this sound sounded, many wild beasts fled one after another, and the originally quiet forest boiled instantly. Humanity? Yi-Bei's position at the moment is the position of the Snake King. It's just that his appearance is extremely cold at the moment. You know, Yi-Bei's consciousness is still human. Now it's just a skin back. But after hearing that humans slaughtered snakes, a lot of anger appeared in his heart. This feeling is very subtle. If I use my current body to think about humans, it is really naive. From becoming a snake and needing to swallow a large number of creatures, from the beginning, it is bound to be an enemy of humans. Kill or not? Yi-Bei's mood now is very complicated. Reason told him that he must not swallow humans. But the body is constantly bewitching Yi-Bei. Humans are creatures that stand at the top of the food chain and are high-level evolutionary entities. If they are swallowed, the evolutionary points will come faster, definitely more than killing ordinary creatures. Much. Bang, bang, bang. The gunfire continued. If they are not wrong, those people should be temporarily in contact with certain animals in the forest. After the gunshots rang through, Yi-Bei's gaze swerved, and he swept across the blood pythons at the scene again. If humans live in groups, someone will inevitably be the leader. The same is true for snakes. The Snake King is just one of them, and there is definitely an auxiliary Snake King. You, whoever is the helper of the former Snake King, stand up, the kind he trusts most. Yi-Bei whispered. The huge body, the scarlet letter, and the ordinary blood pythons didn't have any thoughts of resistance. As Yi-Bei's voice fell, 8 snakes, nearly 1.5 meters long, slowly walked out of the group of snakes. These snakes are basically the same in appearance. But Yi-Bei could tell at a glance among the 8 snakes, 4 of them were male and 4 were female. Wang, King, please don't kill us. We are all forced to serve the former Snake King. Wang, spare my life. I don't want to die yet. Although they are snakes, standing in front of Yi-Bei, these snakes seem to have human thoughts, knowing fear, and begging for mercy. From today, you are my subordinates. I am responsible for mobilizing the entire group of snakes to do things. If there is any mistake, then go to death. In addition, for the sake of understanding, I will give you a name, and remember them all well. Whoever I call out will come out. Yi-Bei's voice was cold, and he said decisively. The 8 snakes were overjoyed when they heard what Yi-Bei said. From left to right, they are called Manhwa Ch and have fun. Yi-Bei pondered for a few seconds and gave the name. Fortunately, there are 4 female snakes on the far left and 4 male snakes on the far right. Yes, King. Thank you, King. Yes. After the name was given, the 8 snakes were extremely excited. The snakes around also showed envious eyes. As the same kind, Yi-Bei could clearly feel them. Chun, tell me how many snakes there are in total. After naming it, Yi-Bei continued. After devouring creatures and evolving quickly, he can count on these snakes. Now he must figure out how big his team is. King, there are a total of 358 snakes in our group, but before, 7 were sacrificed due to human hunting. In addition to the dead Snake King, there are now 350 snakes in total. Among the snakes that are still alive, there are more than 100 young snakes less than 50 centimeters in length, more than 201 meter-long adult snakes, of which more than 120 are combat effective. Chun said in detail. It's just that this number makes Yi-Bei sound a little depressed. Originally, he thought that these more than 300 snakes could become his own combat power and help him hunt for creatures. But unexpectedly, there were only more than 120 useful ones. It seems that we have to find a way to cultivate some combat power. He muttered to himself, and then he continued, let's think of a way to cultivate 800 blood pythons, and then you one is responsible for 100. But, Wong, the human beings don't know what they are going crazy. They have been looking for trouble with our blood pythons. Chun hesitated a little and said cautiously, if we rely on normal growth in a short period of time to cultivate adult snakes, the possibility is too low. Once discovered by humans, we will all die. It's human again. Yi Bei's eyes were cold. This bush should be the base of our snake group. You take it here and increase your physical strength as soon as possible. Also, Chunhwa Qyu, for fun, you find 4 and give me 5, collect all the prey that can be killed within a kilometer, and send it to the snake base to wait for me to return. As for those humans, leave it to me for the time being. After being silent for about a second or two, Yi Bei said in a deep voice, to be honest, Yi Bei doesn't have much hostility to humans. If he can, he is going to scare those guys. However, if humans dare to rashly do it, Yi Bei will certainly not be polite. Abandoning these words, in the shocked and horrified gazes of the blood pythons, Yi Bei turned his head directly and moved towards the direction of the gunfire. The snakes around at this moment all felt a breath of death. It seems, this newcomer Snake King, ready to play a big ticket? Deep in the forest, accompanied by the endless darkness, 5 silhouettes of people wearing night vision glasses continue to shuttle among them. These 5 people are a small team. It is composed of 4 men and 1 woman, moving forward in vertical columns. Behind everyone, there is a huge package carrying a lot of weapons and food. At the same time, a pistol was hung on the left and right waist, still carrying a small charge at any time. Such a dress came to this forest, it is absolutely fully prepared in advance. Moreover, these people are very large, with well-developed muscles, and at first glance they have been specially trained. Quick move on. The direction of the snake group has been determined. As soon as you find it, drop the sulfur bombs and then shoot. Don't let go of any of them. While swiftly moving forward, the person who was walking in the foremost commanded in English coldly. He is very big, at least 1.9 meters tall. Dark skin. Even with a large amount of supplies, when walking in this dark forest, he still walked on the ground. Bang, bang, bang. The abnormal creatures that occasionally appeared in his sight were basically shot and killed by the submachine gun in his hand within a few tenths of a second. Jonah, why didn't you choose daytime? It's so late now. The forest is too dangerous. It's a terrible place. My skin is stained by these dirty branches. If I leave scars in the future, then no wonderful. The woman's voice, also in English, was directed at the person who took the lead. This woman looks like Charlie. The 2 arms are exposed, and the muscles on them are bulging like mountain packs. I don't know how they were trained. Shut up, Ella. This is an order. The blood python we captured did not contain what we wanted. The goods must still be on other blood pythons. In order to prevent them from being swallowed and digested, we must do our best to get it back quickly. As for your body, don't be kidding. We said we don't know. Jonah didn't look back. Yeah, it doesn't really matter when. Although the beasts here are very strong, they can't stand a single blow under absolute firepower. Finding something is the most important thing. Another man said. This man, standing in the 3rd position, is very tall, but he looks a lot thinner, and his whole person is full of a shrewd feeling. When I said this, there was still a hint of light in my eyes, and I didn't know what he was doing. Marin, was the bead really swallowed by the blood python? I hope our expedition is worthwhile. The man standing in the 4th position said to the thin figure in front. Hal. Anyway, if the lab video is true, it is worth our lives for it. We are the Hunter Squad. Marin answered. As for the man standing at the back, he was a white man with agile steps. He had been watching the enemies around him all the way and never spoke. Chi. In the forest, Yi Bei's huge body is entrenched on a tree pole. Scarlet letters kept spitting out in his mouth. Because standing tall, while deliberately hiding the breath of the body. In addition, snakes are cold-blooded animals. After 3 stages of evolution, Yi Bei is fully capable of preventing these humans from discovering. On the contrary, the 5 people did not find Yi Bei's whereabouts. But eBay has a panoramic view of their actions. The hunter squad? eBay's eyes were cold. It's not much different from those poachers, and even these guys are even more disgusting. No matter what creatures appear in the line of sight, they will all be hunted, and the bodies of those creatures, but I didn't even look at it. Beads. Laboratory. It seems that there are many secrets hidden in this. eBay's mind turned quickly. After listening to these 5 human conversations, the first thing eBay actually did was to think that he had just reborn as a snake. When he descended on this world, a huge blood python sent himself a spiritual orb, and then eaten all by myself. These humans seem to be looking for spirit beads. System, haven't you said it before? I have regional animal language. Strictly speaking, humans are also animals. If people like them are already on this island when they gain abilities from me, can I talk to them? Direct language communication. Chi 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 chi. On the tree pole, eBay spoke with a very small voice. According to the system's judgment, these humans are indeed on this island before the host gains the ability. As long as the host is willing, they can communicate with them without barriers. In addition, human beings are advanced creatures. Although they are single, the combat ability is very poor, but their genes are still advanced. According to the system's judgment, humans can swallow extremely valuable, and everyone who swallows them will gain 5,000 evolution points. The system answered very simply. And when he answered, he also tempted eBay by the way. A human being has more than 5,000 evolution points. 5 human beings are 25,000 points. If swallow 10 human beings, eBay will be able to collect 100,000 evolution points and complete the 4th stage of evolution of the blood python. After thinking of this, eBay couldn't help showing a trace of killing intent in his eyes. Human, are you looking for me? With that kind of murderous intent. On the trunk, eBay swallowed the blood-red letter and said such a coldly in his mouth. Okay, H. After hearing eBay's voice, the 5 people who had been advancing quickly stopped immediately. At the same time, he glanced towards eBay. At the same time, there was a cold sweat all over them. Because the moment they heard eBay's voice just now, they were very clear in their hearts that that voice was definitely not made by humans. And when they set their sights on eBay's side, seeing a giant snake entrenched on the tree pole, I was even more stunned on the spot. In the forest, towering trees can be seen everywhere. 5 people, Hal, Marin, Alec, Jonah, and Ella, serve as the hunter team. I have been in this island forest for a long time. Although many beasts on this island have evolved and are fierce, the 5 of them are not simple. Each of them has experienced cruel training, and their individual combat capabilities can be said to have exploded the ordinary American Special Forces. In the forest, there are almost no beasts that can block their footsteps. This is the main reason why they dare to enter the forest late at night. But at this moment, these 5 people finally realized what fear is. Blood python? No, this is not a blood python. According to visual observation, his body is at least 5 meters long. How could a blood python become so big? Oh, buying. Have you seen that the snake's mouth still has sharp teeth on both sides? It looks at least 15 centimeters in length. Just now, was this snake talking to us? Wow. These people were shocked, terrified, and exclaimed constantly. However, as special fighters, they react faster. The sound of crashing resounded in the forest. The submachine guns in their hands were picked up at the fastest speed. Bang, bang, bang. In the next moment, he almost pulled the trigger without any hesitation and shot in the direction of eBay. Bang, bang, bang. The sound of bullets. When those bullets were shot out, there was a fierce fire. Whoosh. eBay is fast. Foreseeing these humans firing, his body swishes towards the bottom of the tree pole. The result has just been removed. The seat where I was staying before has been sparsely shot by the submachine gun. Booming. The big tree with a diameter of at least 1 meter was shot into a sieve from the middle under the 5 men submachine guns. The upper part could not withstand the huge force. The big tree tens of meters high fell directly. The loud rumbling noise resounded continuously in the quiet and dark forest. It's just that this 5-member hunting squad didn't have the mood to care about the fallen tree. The muscles on his face began to twist continuously. Under the night vision glasses, the giant blood python that I saw just now disappeared, and there was no trace of it. It seems to be a mutated blood python. This speed is too fast. Everyone immediately surrounds and guards the surroundings. Absolutely can't give it a chance to get close. Jonah coldly ordered. If he really has the ability to kill us, then there is no need to run. It disappears now because of fear. But, just now, we seem to hear a snake talking. In this tense atmosphere, Ella suddenly reminded her. Okay. In the next moment, the 5 people once again realized the seriousness of the matter. An illusion. It must be an illusion. Don't forget our purpose. It's a blood python. Just hunt it. What is the best way to resist fear? Just don't think about it. At the same time, turn the unknown into an illusion. When Jonah said this, his eyes kept moving around. What a bunch of idiots. Dark eyes. The huge body is hidden in it. The snake is a cold-blooded animal, and Yibei can easily hide his breath. These 5 humans have no chance to discover Yibei. In contrast, when Yibei said these words again, because of the silence of the night, it was very clear to these people's ears. If it was an illusion just now, it will never appear twice at the same time. Did you hear anything? Jonah's voice was trembling, and the clear voice in his ear made him really scared this time. Who is speaking? Don't pretend to be a ghost. If it's a human, come out quickly. Several others did not answer Jonah, but they shouted. Zzz. The huge body moves on the ground. The sizzling noises continued, but the shouts of these people directly drowned these sizzling noises. I heard that you were here to slaughter blood pythons, but before that, I want to clarify a few questions. You guys answer them well, otherwise, I'll go to death. Yibei kept approaching quietly. Da-da-da. The sound just came out. These human beings fired the submachine gun in their hands again. Boom. There were really 2 bullets that hit Yibei's body, but because the snake's skin was too thick, the bullets only shot into the skin and did not penetrate into the flesh. But, even so, let Yibei feel very painful in my body. Yibei was quite uncomfortable with the act of firing at a disagreement. After hitting Yibei's killing intent was even more exposed. I was still hesitant to eat people. That being the case, it would be a waste to put so many evolution points in use. You are looking for death yourself, he said silently in his heart. The next moment, with a whistle, Yibei's body burst out with extremely powerful power, like a huge shadow, rushing towards one of the human beings, and at the same time opened his mouth. Too sharp the fangs are exposed. The blood-red letter is extremely terrifying, and that big mouth seems to be able to swallow a human alive in one mouthful. When Yibei rushed past, the 5 humans also immediately felt an unprecedented killing intent. In just a short moment, their complexion turned pale. The finger was placed on the trigger, ready to continue the frantic burst, but it was too late. Puff. Guru. Hearing such a voice, 4 of them turned their heads abruptly, and then they saw one of their companions swallowed alive by an extremely huge snake, and the whole process took less than 0.1 second. And when they looked back, what they saw was even more terrifying. A giant snake occupies the lower part of the body. On the body that stood up to a height of more than 3 meters, a pair of eyes full of killing intent was looking at this side fiercely. Golyulu. Chi-chi. The sound made by human beings when they were swallowed by a giant snake. If it's just ordinary, if a person is eaten by a snake, there is actually nothing that can't be beaten. But in this scene, the remaining 4 people are all frightened. It was a huge snake with a red and black body. When it was erected, it was more than 3 meters high, and the letter spit out from his mouth, with a strong smell of blood, was looking down at himself and others condescendingly. The big mouth, the fangs dripping with blood, seemed to be able to tear and swallow everything. Moreover, this time, everyone can be extremely clear that the sounds just now are really made by this snake. Hal. Damn. This guy. Killed Hal. Asshole. Shoot him. The four people who were still alive had their eyes wide open, and they were stunned for nearly 2 seconds before they reacted. In fact, in these 2 seconds, eBay had 100 ways to kill them. But I don't know why, looking at the fearful looks of these humans, eBay found that he would be very happy. These changes in his mentality made him a little unable to understand. Could it be that he was getting closer to the beast class? I thought to myself. Then, when the remaining four humans pointed the submachine gun at him again, eBay's reaction speed was undoubtedly faster. Whoosh! There was no chance for the four to shoot again. eBay, whose body has been strengthened several times, can easily explode these humans in terms of physical fitness and speed. Wow! There was a swish, followed by a loud crash, but in the blink of an eye, all the submachine guns in these human hands were shot and flew by eBay for more than 20 meters. The four human beings who were still alive did not realize what was going on, and all the weapons in their hands disappeared. The snake in front of him was still spitting out letters and killing intent. Next, I will ask you a few questions. The answer is satisfactory. You don't have to kill. Otherwise, you will all die. Destroying all the weapons in human hands, eBay opened his mouth and continued. However, in the eyes of these four human beings, all they saw was another scene. I saw a giant snake entrenched in front of him, more than 5 meters long, with its mouth closed and closed. Then, from its mouth, a low man's voice came out. It was still in English that everyone could understand. The so-called illusion was instantly punctured. Snake, said the words of humans. What does this mean? The first reaction of these human beings is that this snake has opened up their spiritual wisdom. If this is true, then things are big things. Animals can talk to humans directly, and the world is going to change. Your target is the blood python. I heard it just now. It is said that the blood python swallowed something. Can you tell me what that thing is? eBay couldn't bother to pay attention to these human thoughts at this moment. Now that the incarnation has become a python, eBay has his own enlightenment, and using some human rules, it is obvious that there is no such possibility. Really? Really you are talking? Blood python? Can a snake speak? The shrewd-looking, thin man still couldn't accept the situation in front of him. After hearing eBay's voice, he continued to ask with a look of horror. Laugh. As for eBay, he is not welcome at all. A gleam of ice flashed through his eyes, and his mouth suddenly opened. The next moment, he swallowed the man with a sneer. Wow! In less than 2 seconds, eBay spit out another large backpack, which was carried on the back of the man before. All the backpacks were stained with fishy blood. Many of the fabrics are still corroded, and a large number of weapons are exposed. Through the night vision device, the appearance of various weapons can be clearly seen. No, Marin. Another person was swallowed, the woman, who was about to collapse at any time. The voice in her mouth was hysterical. Hal Marin. Were all eaten by this snake? The black man who took the lead was also stunned. Kill people if they don't agree with each other. The snake is still standing in front of you, and the terrifying sense of oppression is more terrifying than shooting each other with submachine guns directly on the battlefield. I'm going to kill you. But even if the breath of death continues to spread in the air, Jonah, the man who took the lead, didn't have any enlightenment. He didn't know where he got the courage. He picked up the pistol at his waist with one hand and put the other hand on the back belt and took out a grenade. Looking at this posture, you are preparing to fight Ibeda. I was thinking about killing or not. Since I'm all looking for death like this, then I'm welcome. Seeing Jonah's actions, Yi Bei's killing intent increased again. Click. The open mouth, the scarlet letter, spit out directly from the mouth. The next moment, the extremely long letter easily wrapped Jonah. Whoosh. Then, the letter was collected back. Jonah, holding the weapon, didn't have any resistance at all and was immediately swallowed by Yi Bei. Golyulu. And the moment it is swallowed, with the help of the system, it is directly digested in the first time, and the evolution points are completed simultaneously. Jonah is dead. If he didn't even resist, he died. At this moment, Ella, the still living Charlie, and the man Alec who had been silent, were completely dumbfounded. The fear of death spread throughout the body. However, Ella responded quickly. When Jonah died, the question of Yi-Bei at the very beginning reverberated in her mind. We don't know what the beat is. It was accidentally heard from the laboratory. It is said to be from a meteorite, which contains a very powerful force. But in an accident, the bead was secretly brought out. It was swallowed by a blood python. These words, Ella almost screamed out. Lingzhu. Meteorite? Laboratory? Blood python swallowed away? Although Ella's remarks are not many, the information revealed is quite a lot. But, wow, Yi-Bei still didn't have any pity to speak of. When Ella's voice fell, he opened his mouth and swallowed the woman. After all, this special is also 5,000 evolution points to his mouth. If you don't eat it, it's a waste. This woman's voice is too high. It upsets me. Isn't it a good answer? Have to shout. After swallowing Ella, Yi-Bei said these words very calmly, then set his eyes on the last surviving white man, Alec. This man gave Yi-Bei an unusual feeling from the beginning. Only you are left. Come on, what do you know? Yi-Bei continued to ask. The voice is beyond doubt. At the same time, after eating 4 humans in a row, he gained 20,000 evolution points. When speaking, Yi-Bei's body was also undergoing tremendous changes. Most importantly, the voice of the system also came out unexpectedly.
Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you did, please like, share, and subscribe.